Haven't done this in a while. Let's see if anyone shows up. I wonder if there's any way to get this figured out, but we'll do this better for future podcast episodes. Right now, we're just working with it. This is a spontaneous podcast, let's just call it. Let's go. One viewer. We're back and better than ever. What's up, my friend? My one friend watching me from an unknown place that I do not know. We got a like though, but we lost the viewer. We're getting back to the basics. May not be on the whiteboard. Keon, let's go. Welcome. Where are you calling in from, Keon, or watching from, may I add? Japan, let's go. How's everything going down in Japan? What time is it right now? Ooh, Karina from Mexico, let's go. I'm calling in from California. It's 10 a.m. in Japan, but you're probably a day ahead, huh? It's probably July 17th. This is my first live stream back in a while. I was doing like 2 to 3 streams a week back in April and May. But you know, gonna slowly start working back into it. I think I kind of want to do like, ooh, Karina used to live in Orange County. I'm like an hour away. I think I'm going to treat this like a podcast. You know, it can be hard for me to always get on the whiteboard and turn the energy on and be creative, but don't get me wrong, I can run my mouth for hours. So that's what we're going to be doing. Karina, where did you live in Orange County? And I'm curious, for the 3 of you here, what videos did you watch and what problems were you looking to solve when you kind of discovered my page? Garden Grove, nice. I've never been to Garden Grove. Is that by any big? Is that by like? That's probably more south, I'm guessing. I don't know exactly where Garden Grove would be. Is it close to Laguna Beach? I've got my handy dandy little notepad here for when we get talking. Karina, you've always been into manifesting. Me too, but I think my idea and understanding of manifesting is changing, you know. I don't think it's necessarily what all these internet gurus say it is, especially after reading the books I've read. I think manifesting is not some kind of like woo-woo, like, oh my God, like, let me just think happy and things will happen. Like, I think it's a wholehearted act of becoming someone new. And in that process, someone new will have new things and new experiences. I wonder if any of the OGs are going to show up. They were like, Grant, we haven't seen you in months. So we'll see what happens. When I was streaming there for a bit, I had like 30 OGs that would just show up every time, and it was amazing. All right. We got 8 of you here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm kind of thinking about starting like a live talk show and like podcast. Um, I realize like one of the most powerful things is like having a conversation with you guys, not just kind of like preaching to the choir and talking about things on a whiteboard, but like really working with you guys and in real time, like getting a read on the vibes and kind of working from there. So, for the 10 of you here, could you drop like a 1 in the chat if you like the idea of kind of like a live podcast type setting where we just talk about these things, manifesting, self-development, rewiring your brain, Taoism, God, like everything. Like literally, let's just talk about life. How does that sound? I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if you like that idea. If you think that'd be something cool. I've got a whole notepad of info right here that we can kind of break down and go into. And I know it's going to like take some time to get back to the traditional live stream type setting and vibe and feeling. But I just wanted to hop on here. I kind of was inspired to do so. Karina and Keon are about that action. I appreciate you guys. All right. For those of you listening, I want to know if you guys have heard of Dr. David R. Hawkins. He was a psychiatrist that discovered the map of consciousness. If you know Dr. Hawkins and you know the map of consciousness, drop a 1. If you kind of know, drop a 2. And if you do not know, drop a 3. Or just tell me. There's not enough people here to where I need to see the numbers. So we can converse. Let me know if you've ever read any books, watched any videos. Ooh, Karina's going to be learning something new tonight. Karina, you're into manifesting, so this is going to be some great knowledge for you. Keon, I know you've been to a bunch of my other streams too. Once you said Japan, I'm like, oh, like Keon's been here before. He's been with me since the whiteboard era. So I want to kind of like give you guys some like more like high level insight into what unlocking a more elevated state of mind can do for you, right? That's kind of like when people talk about manifesting, they often like want something from life, right? They want to manifest their dream partner. They want to manifest a new job. They want to manifest their dream apartment, dream income, this and that, right? But what can be so complex about that and why most people never change is because they're always looking to the external world for the answer, right? So they're off wrap looking to external things to be the source of validation for a transformation that needs to happen internally. And the transformation internally is not necessarily what people think it is, right? There's a bunch of books out on manifestation, on self-development, on rewiring your brain, this and that. But based on everything I've read, like just like what I feel true to be in my gut, and especially because what the map of consciousness is, this information will change how you see the game. So I'm going to break down like what actually happens when we manifest like a physical transformation, right? Whether that be your income, your dream partner, a fitness journey and you get a 6-pack, a new level of income, right? Like what's really going on when we energetically create those shifts. So the biggest issue with manifestation is people think that we have like a cause and effect relationship with reality, right? They think, hey, I can do A, which will lead to B, which will lead to C. That's not the case. That is an outdated Newtonian paradigm of reality, right? So this is super important to understand because Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, right? He created the mechanistic perspective of the universe, right? Like everything was a system working in order and part A had to happen before part B could happen, which led to part C, which is linear, right? So that's how our brains try and process those things. We think, oh, if I just manifest and I get my emotions up and I do X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to have the thing I was looking for. But the odds are, if I were to guess, That's not worked for a majority of people in here, right? Most people can manifest like small things, like oh, that person called me and I wasn't expecting them to call me, but like I manifested them. Like people probably have experienced manifestation in that type of sense, but I don't really think people understand like what's really going on, which is what I want to break down for you guys right here. Now, what Dr. David R. Hawkins talks about is energy can be broken down into things called attractor patterns. And these attractor patterns, right? Don't chase, attract. We don't chase, we attract. Attractor patterns are energetic levels of consciousness, right? They're like paradigms in which things are being experienced. For example, Aryan has manifested his selection in college. And I don't know what an AIR 790 is, AIR 790, but congratulations, Aryan. Aryan manifested those things not because he did ABC. It wasn't necessarily the fact that he submitted an application and it led to this rank, right? It was Aryan has been a certain person his whole life. He's worked hard in school. He's put in the extra effort. When people gave 80%, he gave 95%. When people gave 90%, he gave 100%. That is like a byproduct of his level of being and his ability to manifest the selection in college. And congratulations on the rank. That's amazing. Is a product of who you are at a core level in your consciousness. It's not necessarily the fact that you got a perfect score on every test you did. It's the fact that when you didn't get a perfect score, you bounced back and you studied harder, which is a product of something internally. So before I move on, I wanted to drop a 1 in the chat if the idea about cause and effect is making sense. If you're realizing like, oh, like I'm kind of getting this idea of attractor patterns. I'm starting to realize like, oh, it would make sense that these things are happening from my internal state. Aryan gets it. Yes, sir. You lived it. You lived it. So respect. It's part of the journey. Now, I want to like dive deeper into what attractor patterns are, right? So I want you to think of attractor patterns as, let's use the metaphor of a hotel room, right? But this hotel is going to be your internal state of consciousness, right? So we have fear, anger, guilt, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, peace, love, joy. I want you to think about it as the negative states of consciousness, the lower states of consciousness. I'm not even going to say negative, just lower. They're not good or bad. They're just lower, right? Are floors 1 through 5 in the hotel. The positive states of consciousness are floors 5 through 10. What does this mean? This means that, for example, if Aryan is on level 6, then everything he sees from that level. So when he goes to look out his room, he has a 6th floor view of reality. He's looking out at the college he's going to, the career path he's headed on, the lifestyle he lives. Everything he sees is from that lens of perception. Versus, let's say there's someone else that's on floor 1. They do not have that bird's eye view. Like they can't see what Aryan sees from the 6th floor. Just like Aryan can't see what someone from the 10th floor will see. Now, what's powerful is they're called attractor patterns, which means these energetic frequencies are calibrated to attract experiences. Like if you're a peaceful individual, you're going to attract peace into your life. That's why it's called an attractor pattern. Now, there's dominant energetic frequencies and patterns too. So the higher states, floors 5 through 10 in the hotel metaphor, are dominant forms of power. They're powerful. Things come to you. But floors 1 through 5 are states of force. You're going to have to exert more resistance and effort, and it's not always going to work out in your favor. Okay, Arian, that's great. You're like, I was having a bad habit of watching videos after having my study session done, but from yesterday, I deleted my account in which I got those recommendations. That's amazing. Other than what you like. Now you're here consuming information that'll make your life better. That's super powerful. What you're doing right there is cutting off things that don't serve you. So you are already on a path to self mastery with an action like that. A lot of people always try and add things to their life, right? They're like, I need to watch more self help videos. I need to read more books. That's what keeps people stuck. Versus, I really like what you're doing, which is letting go of things that do not serve you. It's super powerful. That is super powerful. So keep doing that. I'm sure you've got other things in your life where you're like, hey, like I need to be better at that. All right, I'm going to keep going if there are any objections. But for those of you that are engaged in watching, Ari and I appreciate you. I'm glad you watch my videos, and I'm glad we're having this opportunity to talk right now. You know, it's rare that I get to do this with people, so I'm happy to be connecting with you all the way in Delhi, in India. That's like pretty crazy that I'm sitting in the west coast of the United States, and you're in India, and we're just talking. So, just want to send some love and another congratulations on your collegiate journey. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to show you this image. All right, you see those ABCs that we were talking about earlier? I want you to remember that your internal state is the combined ABCs. It says non-deterministic, right? This is the internal realm of cause. That is your energetic alignment. That is your state of consciousness. But below that, we see the A leads to B, leads to C. This is deterministic, which is your perception of a sequence. So I'm going to use Arian's metaphor because he's here being so engaged. Arian, in the non deterministic energetic alignment, has a certain level of consciousness. I'm just going to label that level of consciousness as the Air 790 because I know that's your rank, which is amazing. So that's, let's call the inner energetic frequency that you're holding, the Air 790. You're calibrated at that level. That is non-deterministic, which means that is your natural state. Like you do not need to do anything. It is just who you are. Versus if we move to the bottom layer, the deterministic, Arian said, I manifested my selection in Delhi College and got a certain rank. That is his perception of the sequence. Is that making more sense? How Arian's inner world was already aligned with those things happening, which is why he has it now, because it is equitable to who he is. The reason people can't manifest is because they'll say, I want something, I want an effect in the real world that is not in alignment with who they are. And that's why there's resistance, because you're trying to force it, because you're not the individual that can have those certain things. This is like why we have bad habits. This is why we have limiting beliefs. This is why we have self-doubt. This is why we have negative thoughts. Like these are all things. I'm going to have to get a laptop charger real quick, ladies and gentlemen, just so I don't lose you. Bear with me. All right, we're back. We're so back. Gotta plug it in and be careful when I sit down. I like that, Arian. You said, I never kept doubt in myself. I always refused my inner doubt or negative thoughts subconsciously. And I don't think you refused it. I'm going to relabel that word for you. I think you surrendered it. I think you let go of it. I think you didn't let it hold power over you. Would you agree? Does that sound more like what you did instead of refusing it? Exactly. Because if you refused it, then it would have determined your outcome. Because what we resist persists. RN, you're a G. I just want to send you some love because you're being so engaging with me. But I got 12 of you watching right now. For those of you watching, is this making sense? Drop a 1 in the chat if this is making sense, ladies and gentlemen. Or if I have your attention to some degree. Drop a 1 in the chat if this is making sense. Are you starting to understand why like it happens in this manner? Michael, nice to see you again. Why does what we resist persist? All right. You ready? This is why everything is like paradoxical. Okay. So let's say I will be authentic with you guys. The last few weeks, I've kind of fallen off the bandwagon of eating super clean, like eating super healthy. I was on like a kick, eating 2,000 calories a day, all organic food. But let's just say I started eating Mexican food again. I'd have the burritos and tacos I wanted, you know? Like I'd have the chocolate chip cookies and baked goods when my roommate made them. What I resist persists. So if I get upset at myself for doing that, if I'm like, Grant, I can't believe you're doing this. You're working so hard. Now you're eating like shit. Then I kind of like numb myself. I'm like, oh, like that doesn't feel good. Like I have like this internal feeling of judgment and guilt and shame because I'm resisting it. I'm not like accepting it with love in a sense. You know, I'm not being like forgiving to myself. In order to overcome things that don't serve us, like bad habits, addictive behaviors, like I used to be addicted to weed and other stuff, partying, everything. I went to San Diego State. I'm sure you could guess the things I was doing. I used to be addicted to some of those things. But what does that mean? That means that I was resisting accepting that that was my reality. That is, Aryan, very well put. Because we give reality to our resistance, we don't have to respond to our negative thoughts and it will gradually get away from your mind. Yes. When you stop feeding them, you're no longer resisting them. When you stop resisting them, they will pass away on their own. They're literally just thoughts. Like if you guys like read up on this information, like your thoughts and emotions are literal just chemical impulses. Like they're literally just chemical impulses. So when we resist something, we're like resisting the feeling of that negative thought. Like Grant was resisting the feeling that he was eating like shit. And because I was resisting that feeling, I would create more of it. I would have more thoughts about, oh my God, like I can't believe you're back here doing this negative cycle again. And then I just feel more feelings. What we focus on is what we have our energy in, pretty much. Where attention goes, energy flows. Now, what is your attention? Your attention are your thoughts and emotions and the energetic charges they carry, right? So if we want to shift our attention, we have to first become aware of what we have our attention on. Let's say I wanted to overcome my weed addiction, right? Like, what does that look like? If I'm aware of the fact that I'm smoking weed and I'm the weed smoker, I'm like, oh my Grant, like you're like a pothead. You're never going to be able to overcome this. You see how I'm creating the identity of being a pothead subconsciously? So then my body becomes addicted to that feeling and that judgment, and I'm going to do things to revalidate that, like smoking weed. Versus if I become aware of the fact like, hey, Grant, you're having a good time in college. It's not an issue to be doing these things. Just slow down. We know we're not going to be able to do this forever. You had your fun. It's okay. Like just let go. You become accepting. Yeah, Keon, if you just observe your thoughts, they'll disappear. And don't like feed them. Don't charge them. This is why meditation is an important practice because you have to learn to become an observer, to detach from the chaos of the mind. You're just watching from the back. Is that making sense, ladies and gentlemen? I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if now you understand why what we resist persists. Drop a 1 in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I missed live streaming. Oh my God. I actually missed live streaming. I'm glad I'm here with you guys. All 12 of you. I love you. Sarah, what's up? That's a Russian name that I cannot read. But what's up? Aryan says, I want to observe in the 3D. But what do I actually do in it? Sarah, that means a lot. That means a lot. Sarah, do you like this type of format? Do you like when I'm just chatting? You like my little podcast set up with my little lady with flowers? Darcy, I appreciate you. Thanks for the 1. All right, Aryan, I'm going to try and decipher your question. Actually, I want you to break that down for me. What do you mean I want to observe in the 3D, but what do I actually do in it? Are you asking, hey, like when I'm in this observer state, like what do I actually do in the 3D? You know, like how long do I study? How long do I do affirmations? How long do I eat clean? How long do I work out? Right? Like that's kind of like what we're observing, right? That's what we're like placing our attention and energy into. Is that what you're asking? Like that's like a big thing. Like I'm realizing that's like a big thing for people is like, Grant, like we're talking about all this like mindset, the spirituality stuff, but like what does that mean for me when I have to study for my school exam, when I have to go to work, when I have to pay bills, you know? Okay, Aryan, I'm gonna break this down for you. I'm gonna tell you what I tell my paid clients. All right. Just because you're so engaging. You've been putting in work tonight. I appreciate that. This is what you do. Let's say the whole reason like we're here in the first place is because we want to change something. We want to transform something. We want to evolve, right? That may be something related to our career. That may be something related to our income, our health, our relationships, our mindset, our thoughts, our emotions. The reason you guys watch this content is because you think something needs to change. Now, what does this look like? The reason we have to be careful of what we observe, right? Living with the observer effect is just realizing that what we are aware of, we are creating more of. So, Aryan, if you're aware of the fact that you no longer let negative emotions and doubt control you, then you are going to create more of that. You are going to be stronger. You're going to be more powerful. More powerful negative thoughts are going to have less control over you because you are validating that identity. That is a practice that you're engaging with on the internal world. That is like an internal conversation you're having with yourself through observation, through awareness. But what does this look like in the 3D? This looks like, Aryan, it sounds like you ranked super well getting into this college. Now, when you go to college, the tests are going to be harder. The concepts are going to be harder. The teachers are going to be tough graders. You are going to have to no longer allow a score on a test to dictate how you feel about yourself internally. You need to realize that you are the person living out the life you desire. You're on that path. And just because you might not get a perfect score on a test doesn't mean that defines you. So I want to break this down further about what this looks like with the observer effect. If you got a bad score, that's like a negative thought, but in the 3D. So we just observe something in the 3D. Just like we have a negative thought, you've probably played the replay in your head of being like, hey, like what happens if I don't get this ranking in this college entry? That's like an internal negative thought. What if that actually happened? You just can't let it have control over you, right? So we create awareness about the reality we don't want to experience. We create awareness of the habits and thoughts and emotions that don't serve us, that would lead us closer to that thing we do not want to experience. And then through observation and through detachment and through surrendering to those negative programs, Like not letting them have control over us, just realize like, hey, those thoughts and emotions are just chemicals in my body. Through meditation, I understand that I'm going to have more peace because I'm going to be less attached to them. I'm going to be less identified to them. Then you're going to be able to consciously align yourself with certain things. What is that going to look like when it comes down to a test score? There's going to be a certain amount of material you need to study. You're going to need to be able to decipher what materials matter. If you have multiple tests in a week, you're going to have to prioritize what class is more important to you. You do all of this based on how you feel internally, right? So you're going to be like, hey, like normally those YouTube videos that I watch after I'm done studying, I can't because I have another test to study for. You're going to have to observe the fact that you're going to feel that draw to the YouTube. You're going to just, heck, Arian, you deserve a break. You deserve to slow down. You're going to have to surrender that thought and be like, you know what? I'm choosing to be someone else right now. I'm choosing to be the version of myself that gets the highest score on the test. All 3 tests I have that week. Drop a 1 if this is making sense. I want you to drop a 1 if you're understanding how we use our awareness and our power as an observer in the 3D world. Good, Aryan. I'm glad it was clear. I had to really work through that one in real time. It's cool because like doing content, like you have to become like very good at critically thinking live. Like I have to become very good at like breaking down concepts on like first principles. So that's like a skill I get to develop over time through this practice, which is super cool. It's super cool. Let's see what else I got in my little handy dandy notebook. You guys ever seen the show Blue's Clues? That's how I feel. Sarah says, it's helpful to get comfortable being uncomfortable or not labeling the feeling as bad. Exactly. That's like one of the core first principles of transformation is like people are comfortable doing terrible things for themselves. Like people are more comfortable being addicted to smoking weed and eating like shit than they are to being uncomfortable running 6 miles and eating organic food. That's just how like our programming is, right? That's how our brain becomes hardwired. The more consistently we live in a certain manner, our nervous system becomes wound up in that manner. It means to not letting your current reality in. All right, I'm going to need you to rephrase that question for me. But Sarah, great insight. That's great insight. Handy dandy notebook. All right, I've got a note here about powerful people. Their lives are automatically and effortlessly organized by their complete, total alignment to very high and powerful principles. I'm going to read that again. Now we're circling back to the Dr. Hawkins power versus force elevated states, right? Powerful people's lives are automatically and effortlessly organized by their complete and total alignment to very high and powerful principles. What does this mean? This means that people that succeed in life are aligning themselves with the principles of the higher states of consciousness. The people that do not succeed are unconsciously falling victim to the states of force, which are the lower states of consciousness, right? The fear, the doubt, the anxiety, the greed, the guilt, the shame. People unconsciously identify with that. Successful people are automatically and effortlessly organizing themselves to live in alignment to very high and powerful principles. What does this mean? This means that these principles and states already exist. Like peace and love is a frequency. It is not something you create. It means you just align with it. Like that exists with or without you. You see how, like, this is what people mean when we can do things effortlessly. Like when you do nothing, you don't need to change who you are really. You just need to let go of who you are not. It's called addition through subtraction, which is beautiful. Like this is why it's about effortlessly flowing with life. It's so powerful, guys. That's exactly what it means, Aryan. It means overcoming the unconscious desire to be comfortable where you're at. That's your current reality and those negative thoughts. That's what feels comfortable, but it's just because you're programmed for that, right? You deleted your YouTube channel yesterday with all the entertaining videos you watch. You were literally going to feel like you're being energetically called to do it. You might be addicted to it. I'm not saying you are, but it's a maybe. You're going to be like, oh my God, I need to watch that video. And you're like, you slow down and observe that. And you're like, I don't want to watch that video. That's just a program in my mind. My brain is just wired to watch that. There you go. I'm not saying I'm good at what I do, but I just realized we all live the same experience. Like we all got unconscious patterns. We all got subconscious ways of thinking. You rewired once. It doesn't mean that it's permanent. You need to understand that saying no actually is the process of rewiring your brain. Because if you watch the video, then you rewired it to continuously be addicted to that. But because you deleted the account, you began the rewiring process. Now you need to continuously choose that again and again, which leads to the second part of your question. You have to work for your desired reality in the 3D with activities you need to do for your desired reality. Beautiful. What you just said in a sentence, I can break down to one word: alignment. That is energetic alignment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, drop a 1 in the chat if this is making sense. I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if all of this is making sense. And if you have a question, I want you to drop a 2 with your question and I'll break it down for you. We can talk about it. Arian's getting it. Keon's getting it. Stephen Curry. Let's go. Welcome back. I missed you guys. Alan, what's up, my friend? I can't spoil the secret. I can't spoil the secret. But Stephen Curry been around. He been around. Just one of the Splash Bros. All right. For those of you that are watching right now, and if I have your attention, I want you to drop a 3 in the chat if you like this live podcast type content. I want you to drop a 3 if you like this setting. Should I keep live streaming? I know people like the whiteboards, but it's way easier for me to just come and be here now. Literally be present and just talk off the dome. Local Skinny just asked, I'm just curious, where did you learn everything you were teaching us? Books, real life experience, a relationship with God from being an atheist. Not that I was atheist, maybe agnostic. Just being introduced to these things. When you catch lightning in a bottle, it kind of changes you forever. When you get struck by lightning, you're never the same, which has just kind of led me down this path, made me curious, pursue an understanding of this knowledge. I feel like this is my purpose. Everything I'm teaching you guys. Do athletes and famous personalities reach out to you? On Instagram, yes. I have a lot of actors that reach out to me. I've had Victoria's Secret models reach out to me. Stephen Curry is asking me if I've had any specific experiences. Local Skinny is asking, when you say God, do you mean the Christian God, or what do you view as God? Everyone that places a label on God, regardless of what background or dogma it comes from, is trying to describe the same thing. That's my philosophy. If you accept every God as your own, then you get one step closer to the real one, if that makes sense, because you're transcending more duality. I'm calling you local skinny. How about that? Local fit. I'm calling you local fit. I'm calling you local fit. I appreciate you asking questions. My relationship with God has become so profound. Like, if you guys do not have a personal relationship with the source energy or God or Jesus Christ or Buddha or Krishna or Lao Tzu, like, I would highly recommend you to start just opening your heart and mind. Like, I'm not here to be some freaking preacher. Like, that's not me. Are you asking Neo? Are you asking how to start being introduced to God? Local fit is like, I don't know why. I just cringe when I hear people say God because I've been so brainwashed to think of the Christian God as the only God, and I can't think of anyone else beyond that. I feel you on that. I feel you on that, my friend. That's why I took like the long way to this information. You guys, I realized your relationship with whatever it is, I just call it God because ego is edging God out. Like, I think ego is just us taking credit for everything that's going on here, saying like, I'm the one that got here. I'm the one that created myself, blah, 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 this and that. If you look at how vast this universe is, you're like, I don't know the answer. I probably will never know, but it would be naive to think that I'll ever be close. Exactly. Universe is the same thing. It's the source energy. Like, it's really source energy, it's the thing that connects us all. It does not hold a physical form. The reason you have to research Neo, I'm going to answer your question. I'm just kind of going off on a rant right now. The reason you need to research and read multiple theories and religions and dogmas is because you get exposed to the truth. Like, not everything is literal truth, right? If I just put all the Christian information down right here, not everything is literal. If I put all the quantum mechanics right here, not everything is literal. Some things are theoretical. But the more I understand and see the patterns and see the synchronicities, the more I understand or the more I can better develop my relationship with what I think to be God. Neo, I feel distant from God even though I believe in him. Well, Neo, I want to ask you the questions. Do you have any false idols in your life? Sarah, you get me. You see me. You get me. Neo, do you have any false idols in your life? And what I mean by that is, could God feel distant because you're not prioritizing a relationship with the energy? Like, you're not prioritizing a relationship with surrendering to your highest self. And what I mean by that is, like, for me, my false idols would be like social media views, money, status, the food I eat, the girls I date. Like, those are false idols. Like, I place them at the center of my universe. Like, in the Bible, it says man cannot have two gods, or man cannot have two masters. Money and cars. Guess what? If you can surrender your life fully to the principles of divinity, let's just say, or being a good person, or elevating your high self, or living like the greats, money and cars are a byproduct of that. Like, you will have riches beyond your comprehension. But in the Bible, they say you must lay your riches upon heaven, not earth. Local fit. He said, sadly, when I was right out of high school, I had so many false idols. Fast forward to the present, they turned out all to be scammers. Exactly. There's only one true king. And the reason I'm using like biblical metaphors is because I've just been like reading up on that information, and it's like real. Like, when you actually read what they say in the Bible and comprehend it, there's like a reason it's the most printed book of all time. Like, Jesus Christ was a real person, but he was an avatar of the creator. All right. You guys, we're getting into it. We've opened Pandora's box, so everyone buckle up. All right. This book. Lock in, ladies and gentlemen. Human consciousness can calibrate from 5 to 1,000. God or like divinity calibrates at 1,000,000. And like, this is not just the numerics, right? When I say 5, it is not the number 5. It is 5 to the 10th power. That is logarithmic. So it's 5 times 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 5. Exactly. Thank you, Aryan. Krishna is the Jesus character for Hindus because he is the reincarnation of Vishnu, which is God, Lord Vishnu. Just like Jesus is a reincarnation of God. But guess what it's symbolic for? It's symbolic for resurrection. When you kill your ego, metaphorically, ego death, when you die to yourself, you guys, this is what happens when you submit your lower states. When you say, I'm no longer going to allow my desire for lust, food, all these things, when you submit those things that overstimulate you, local fit, you are reincarnated. You naturally arise into a more elevated version of yourself. Yes, audiobooks would be great. They would be great. Or you can just watch me. Or we can just do this every week. How to properly submit to those things. First, let me ask a question. You guys, I've always wanted to do like a service, not like a church service, but wouldn't it be cool if we just had like a big community of people that would all come on YouTube Live and we just talk about being better? Like, I want to call it like the down to earth podcast. Like, how do we take all these magical things and bring them down to earth and do something with our life? I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if you like the idea of having like 1 day a week, maybe 2 days a week, if I just come on here and talk about this stuff and we can live it. Like, because I realize like there are so many false idols. Like, there are so many people leading us astray, and that's not like a problem. They just think like they're going the right direction. Local fit, I'm gonna tell you right now. You just said, I'm so sad that I'm betraying her. Part of your inability to overcome the lust and gluttony is because you are shameful. Do not be shameful, my brother. Everyone watching this right now has things they are shameful for. I want you to, if you have something you're shameful for and something you're guilty for, I want you to stop right now and take a breath. Realize that it is not who you are. You are just identifying with those behaviors. You're saying, I am lustful. I am gluttonous. That is not the case. You're just identifying with it. And because you identify with it, you know it's not good. You know lust and gluttony is not good. So you are resisting it. You're saying, I have a girlfriend. I do not want to disrespect her. That is the thing causing the emotional addiction, the chemical addiction, the internal addiction to the physical thing you're experiencing. Forgive yourself. Any of you listening, forgive yourself. Have compassion for yourself. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to learn and grow. We are here to learn and grow. Like, okay, this is where we have to get into this book because it's so fucking fire. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into it. Aryan, I see your questions. Does journaling help with manifestation? There's multiple things going on right here that I need to address. Does journaling help with manifestation or rewiring your brain? Yes, because it helps you get all your thoughts on paper objectively. And then one thing I do with my clients is like, I call it like transmutation. So you take 5 things that you thought negative in your day, like local fit. We could do this for you right now. I want you to take something you're shameful, a few things you're shameful of, the lust and gluttony, and I want you to journal 3 reasons to be grateful for them. 3 reasons. For me, if I were to talk on lust and gluttony, I'm so glad I was gluttonous to realize that I do not want my body to feel that way. There's no amount of overeating that will give me a pleasure of being clean and being free from being weighed down by processed foods. That's how I would turn that into a positive experience. DJ Divine Justice. What's up, my friend? I stayed positive and got my first client signed, but I don't get my payout for 3 to 5 months. How can I use the same energy that got me the deal to get the money to me faster? Sign another client. Job's not finished. Like, that money's coming. Like, it's out there. Like, you have it. Just keep moving. It would be easier for you to sign another client that could pay you now than to wait for them. That's what I'd have to say to that. All right. Map of consciousness explained. Moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen. Arian's like, do you manifest your views on YouTube videos? Not well. You guys, like, I'm realizing, like, I like live settings more than I like creating content. If you guys like my YouTube videos, I got 24 of you here right now. Do you like the live setting more than watching me in a YouTube video? Like, right now, it's been like casual conversation. So if we start doing the podcast episodes and you guys come live, I'll put more structure into it. But what do you guys like more? Do you guys like the YouTube content? Do you guys like the live content? I'm curious. Just comment on that if you feel so inclined. I appreciate you guys. Okay, map of consciousness. You see how at the top it says self is enlightenment. The logarithm is 700 to the 10th power. Or it might be 10 to the 700th power. I don't know. I'm not a math genius, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just a 25-year-old kid that runs my mouth on the internet. You see this full spectrum? I talk about it in my videos a lot. It's important to understand this because they're like, these are the forces, like the levels of consciousness that we submit to and we're not aware of. Like, when there's like invisible strings, like when it feels like, oh my God, like I can't break through that. Like this is what you can't break through, a level of consciousness. And this guy has a 10-book series on this. It is crazy. It is literally crazy. This book was amazing. It's high level. Like that's where I think it'd be cool to just like do live videos and talk about these things, because I wouldn't recommend everyone reads this until you're like a little more versed in what's going on. You've had a little more experience, done a little more self-reflection. Dr. David R. Hawkins. Sarah. Zephyr. That's a cool last name. All right. This is important to understand because there is a path to elevated states. Like, this should give you guys a sense of liberation in a sense, because you need to understand, like, one of the reasons our journey can be so hard is because we think we know the answer, or we want to be the ones that are right. You know how exhausting it is to try and be right all the time, to think that you know the answer? Like, that is exhausting, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if it's exhausting negotiating with yourself. If you're like, Ari and Sarah, local fit, I'm right. I know the only path. That voice in your head, I know the only path through. Drop a 1 in the chat if it's exhausting to be dealing with that motherfucker all the time. Samuel, my boy. Samuel, my boy. Sabrina, are you flirting with me right now? Are you flirting with me right now? Neo got a 1. Arian, we got a 1. Let's go. But you guys, energy level 20, shame. Energy level 30, guilt. Energy level 50, apathy. That's kind of like whatever. Energy level 75, grief. Energy level 100, fear. You just see how it goes up from here. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because at 1,000 is pure consciousness. It is like the avatar, like it is like the genius. It is Jesus, Krishna, and Buddha. Those are the 3 people to calibrate at 1,000. Like there's been 3 humans to do it because they're avatars. Like they're a pure expression of pure consciousness, but they're still not God. Like they're like God in human consciousness form, but the divine energy is like infinitely powerful. Like it would, like no living thing could hold all of that. Your nervous system literally could not do it. Exactly, Sarah. Like there's been speculation that the Matrix is about Jesus in that story. All right, local. I have the perfect schedule in my head, but I never act on it. Is that because I have conditioned myself to stay in the habits I have created, or that I'm trying to be right with myself? Both. But it's more that you're acting on the things you're used to more effortlessly. Like it's easier to give in to the things that you're used to versus it is to do something new. You guys, breathing is like so powerful. Like it is like our purest expression of life. Okay, Zach, that's a bar. It's about Christ consciousness. Yes. It's about like the crucifixion. I actually made a video in my backyard today about Christ consciousness. That's dropping tomorrow. So keep an eye out for it, ladies and gentlemen. Zach, I love that you just dropped that comment. I haven't seen your face this entire time. And you're like, the Matrix isn't about Jesus per se. Bro, my brother one time, you guys, you think I'm cool. My younger brother is a wizard. He told me about this story, and it was about this guy that went to India, and he was like, when are we going to meet like the sages and the mystics and like the masters that everyone are waiting for? And the guide and group he was with was doing community service at like an orphanage where like kids are up for adoption. And he's like, I don't want to be here doing this charity work, this service work. Like I want to be here meeting the greats. And the guy stopped and looked at him and he said, do you not realize that running around right before you are little Christs and Buddhas, and you're looking for some far off master? Once, like that is a very humbling thing. Like that is such a powerful story. Like when you really think about it, like it just reminds me, like kind of bouncing off what Zach is saying, like a self-realized Christ. What does it mean to self-realize? To realize is to become aware of. You must become aware of the fact you already have what you're searching for and remove all of the blockages and illusions in between you and that experience. That's the secret. You guys, my paradigm was shattered forever when I realized like it's not about like attainment. Like you're not here to attain things. You're here to surrender and let go of things. That is the path of self-realization. Like that is how you actualize the self, is by realizing that the self is present, like the capital S self is the supreme reality. It's just about surrendering illusions in between you and that. Arian says, normal breathing seems like we are just using it for survival, but when we do deep breathing, it feels so enlightened, and I think I can manifest anything. That's because you're more present. Like deep breathing is calming your nervous system and becoming present. Like it is the only thing you're focusing on. So you're honing your attention into this moment, which is why it can feel like you can manifest anything. Because anyone that can channel their 100% power in the present moment can literally do anything. Local fit. What else amazes me is that I have been to those points where I feel like I am in God mode. Then I revert back to times like I am in now. Well, that's such a powerful experience because now you have another form of evolution to get back into that mode. To get into that mode, you had to overcome things that didn't serve you. That's what allowed you to unlock that state. Just because you fell back into this version of yourself that no longer serves you doesn't mean that you don't have what it takes to get back. It just means you're becoming more clear on what things don't serve you in being God mode. Does that make sense? Like I learned that lesson. Like I still learn that lesson. But I'm more aligned, let's say. I'm closer to overcoming the fewer and fewer things that have a grip on me. Let's see if there's anything profound that comes up. All right, ladies and gentlemen. How we doing so far? We liking this style format? While I have you here, I want you to drop some topics in the chat that you want to hear more about. Like just some things you're curious about, like why you're even on this live stream. Like I'm curious, like I know we're all in pursuit of something. Bro, Fit. I love how I'm already calling you Fit. Thank you for being interactive. Like I just got to come on here and be grateful that I got one person watching me. One person engaging with me. Last topic, psychedelics. 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 You don't need it. It can be unearned wisdom. All it does is introduce you to a frequency that you are now aware of, and it is a state you know is possible. Sabrina is in pursuit of transcendence. Well, if that is the case, then I have one thing for you. All you have to do is let go of the things you're holding on to. Whatever Sabrina identifies with that does not serve her on that path, you have to let go of it. Psychedelics are drugs, but there is also psychedelic chemicals released into our brain. That's DMT, like it's produced by the pineal gland when we die. Darcy, I love seeing you comment. Darcy. Arian, go have a good steady sesh. Lots of love and energy your way as well. Sarah saying, do you have any go-to practices that you contribute to your best self? It's evolved and changed over time for sure. Fitness and eating clean is a huge thing because it's how you have a clear vessel. It's a clear vessel. Arian, if you want long-lasting success, you must do it with no external input. That's what this path is about. Like self-realization and transcendence is about overcoming any need for an external stepping stone. Then don't do drugs, my friend. Do not do it. Please make a promise to me right now that you will never do drugs. You just got into a great college. You got ranked so well. You have everything you need, my friend. Do not look for an external source. All right, Sarah, back to the question. Nutrition is huge. Getting sunlight and sweating is huge. Stillness is huge. Just getting in tune with my breath, surrendering my thoughts that don't serve me, like literally aiming for nothingness in my mind. That's a big thing. Another practice that I struggle with is like doing things that I don't want to do. Like when I don't want to do work, I won't, which can be challenging, Um, yes, we have unimaginable amounts of power within us. But I have, I've experimented, let's just say. I've experimented with everything. Arian, you just made a promise to me. No external persuasion. Sabrina, it will change your life because it cleans up your vessel. Like to be able to look in the mirror and be proud of what you see, but not just that, to feel good on the inside. Like you guys realize like sugar is a neurotoxin. So if you eat chocolate, like it literally releases a chemical toxin in your brain, which may cause some little spiral downs of negative thoughts. I know I experienced that. So make sure to eat clean. Like that's one thing that I'm learning the hard way because I live in Southern California and I love Mexican food, but it's just grilled in oils and fatty stuff. It's just not good. It's literally not good. All right, guys, we're coming up here on an hour and 7 minutes. I had a great time. Like this is like such a peaceful setting for me to be in. Fit, I feel you. Local fit, I feel you. But for those of you, well, don't worry, Arian will be back because I'm getting ready to make my dinner. For those of you still watching, drop a 1 in the chat if you're going to show up if I do some podcast episodes. They will be on Mondays or Wednesdays are the days. I would love to have you here. I'll make sure to like bring in some more like structured information too, so we can like have like a full-on conversation and go down the path. But drop a 1 in the chat if you want to come show back up for my live podcast. Do you like the idea of me having a podcast? Is it even like fun for you to listen to me yap for an hour and 7 minutes? Stephen Curry, you've been here through everything. Sabrina, yes. 1-1. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you. Yes. Well, this is going to be my podcast. I don't want it to be like, I have data to give to you. I want it to be us talking about life. Like this science literally means nothing unless we use it for our life. Like data and statistics and research literally means nothing. Like so many things are useless if we do not use them in our life. That's what I want this to be. That's why I want to call it down to earth. How can we take these crazy things and bring them down to earth? Because I'm asking myself the same questions every day. I'm like, how can I be better? How can I overcome that foot-long burrito I just ate last night? I'm not perfect. The last thing I want you guys to think is like I'm some guru, because I'm not. I'm just walking the same human condition as you guys. I'm going down the same path. Sarah, the videos, we're dropping it tomorrow. I'm going to drop it tomorrow like 8, 9 a.m. It was a good one. You guys, how many of you guys have seen that other video of me in my backyard? It's called How to Seek the Kingdom of God First. All right. Tell me what type of content you like more. Do you like it more when it's just like me talking and it's more free flowing? Or do you like it more when it's like structured and whiteboard and there's specific topics I'm trying to hit and specific pieces of wisdom? Local fit, what do you mean? Neo's like, how can I overcome the McDoubles I ate last night? I asked myself the same question, my brother. I asked myself the same question. Sarah, I completely agree. Local fit, boy, do not be saying that. Listen, I'm calling you local fit. You better live up to that shit. Or next time you're on my podcast, we're going to have problems. We're going to have problems. Sabrina, I appreciate that. But Sarah, I really do agree with you because I feel like it's more real. It's more intuitive. Like it's more personal. Like I realize like I love connecting with you guys. Like I love community. It's so much more real to like be here with you guys. Ooh. Oh my God, Sarah. Should we do book club? Oh my God, that's what we could do. On one month, like on a Monday, I could just do a podcast. And on Wednesday, I could do a book club. Ooh, you kind of cooked with that. That's pretty fire. I like that. Now you got me thinking. You guys, I really missed this live connection. That's why I'm just here chatting for an hour and 12 minutes. So I'll be back. Do you guys like when I stream like in the evenings? I feel like a lot of my viewers are in the US. More than not. More than not. I'm getting a read on the culture right now. Hello, Marge Maple. Hello. Thanks for saying what's up. Oh my God. I love when I see new faces. Like I love when I see people like get the courage to say something in the chat because I'm like, we can be friends. Like if any of you guys saw me in person, bro, local fit, let's go. That's reprogramming right there. You literally just collapse a new identity and reality. Simple. Sometimes all we need is someone to believe in us. But Marge, thanks for saying what's up. Like, I used to get on here and like no one would watch. Are you asking me what I think of Kraken, like the crypto platform? Crypto's booming right now, baby. Come on. Sabrina is down for book club. Sabrina is down for book club. You guys, something's going on with my camera. Marge, are you flirting with me? Don't give me a winky face. You're gonna make me blush, bro. Arian, I love you too, my friend. All right. I'm holding all 17 of you accountable. Mondays and Wednesdays, we're back. Sarah, thank you for always being my heavy hitter in the comments. You're a shooter. I can trust you. I can trust you. Local fit. I'm just calling you fit, bro. It ain't gonna be local, it's worldwide. You guys, this is how powerful community is. I just want to point that out right now. Like creating a space that people can come and be different. Like I want you guys to know, I want my live streams and my videos to be like a safe space for you to come and be like, I can be different. I can choose to be different. I can grow. I can go from local fatty to fit in a moment. Like I want you guys to really think about that. Like you have an opportunity to be different. What if we even brought in like a Zoom chat where we could see each other and talk? Would that be cool? I like talking face to face, but this is a good happy medium for now. It's a good happy medium for now. Just an idea, but you guys are gonna have to stick around with me. You guys are gonna have to stick around. Stephen Curry and Sabrina are on the same wavelength, some may say. Tell me about the benefits of Discord. I'm not like a good Discord user. Wait, are there two Sabrinas in here? Am I tripping right now? I'm pretty sure there's two Sabrina Riveras in here. One with like a blue S and like a new Sabrina. My bad, Sabrina. She said, I'm the only one. My bad. She said, I'm one of one. My bad. I was like, the Matrix is glitching right now. Like, there's no way there's two fucking people with the same name on here right now. What's my diet? Well, this last week it's not been the best. On a good day, it's like super lean. It's like organic fruits, organic cottage cheese, a pound of ground beef, avocado, dates, honey, chicken, watermelon, and tahini and honey. Can you guys do me a favor? If you have watermelon, get some tahini, that little sour powder, pour it on your honey, pour it on your watermelon, and then drizzle some honey on it. Pause. Just stay with me here. It will change your life. We could for sure do Discord so everyone could just chop it up. But YouTube is like a good place for now, you know? I want to get back to the basics. Sarah, she said, it sounds weird, but I'll try it for you. That means a lot. You know, I'm just trying to change your life in multiple ways. Vegetarian? That's crazy. I need a haircut. Expand your mind and your stomach. All right, guys. What days? This is the final vote. Mondays or Wednesdays? Stephen Curry. Steve. Are you a Steve? We might be having a moment right now, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Curry, are you a Steve? Boy, don't even get me started. Boy, do not even get me started. It's like blood, dog. Come on. I'm trying to get a little Stevenson ranch of my own, bro, and just make videos traveling like that. Mike makes music. I'm just trying to make spiritual videos. You said Messi over Ronaldo. I've got a Messi poster in my room. AC Trade said, have you been happy with the channel growth? I'm very grateful that people even listen to me. Messi. Darcy voted Monday. Messi over Ronaldo for sure. Like, come on, bro. you're crazy if you go in any other way. All right, guys, I'm getting off topic right now. I'm just flirting with all of you. I'll see you in the next one. I got nothing but love for you. It's your boy signing out. I'll see you in the next one. It could be random too, so keep an eye out. I'm a spontaneous individual. Peace.